I didn't say you hated her, you're a hater. It's different. In today's video, it's actually gonna be today and tomorrow. We have quite the array of vet visits. So we're doing kind of a regular breeding check type of deal today. We might preg check one, and then Annie's our last mare due. So she is getting her full alert fixed. She's had it in for like 3 weeks and it was getting really loose. So he is tightening it up. He's gonna put basically a new one in because it looked like she had rubbed the crap out of it. So she's getting her full alert first. We're gonna check mares, and then tomorrow, which will be 2 seconds for y'all, we're going to be checking mini cows and mini goats. So yeah. Juicy today.
Don't say that!
We have determined that you messed up, and instead of breeding Raven to Code Red, you bred him to that Percheron thing that you've got there to make Moose. Because Moose looks more like his kid than Code Red's kid.
Yeah.
But he wasn't there last year.
I don't know how you did it, but you did it.
The magic man.
Rebecca, if she wanted her to show it. I was hoping you'd poop a baby out.
She said, I'm going to do it.
You're going to poop your baby out the day I need to leave for
The
Ocala.
second you get on the plane, she's going to go.
If she hasn't had her baby by the time I leave. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I wait on her, she will wait until I would have gotten back from the trip. Because I think she has to make it to day 351 for like me to go to the trip and get back. And we've had multiple mares do that this year.
Is she gonna do that?
I don't know. And so I'm like, I'll just take her ass to the clinic. I'm not missing showing. Sorry. I will be taking you to the clinic where you will be happily and healthily foaled out with professionals, and I will go to the horse show. I'm just telling you. Okay, now we've moved on to checking all of our mares that we're trying to get in foal this year. So we have, I believe, 6 that have been bred, 3 confirmed pregnant. We might be preg checking one in this video, we'll see. And then this one right here, Buttercup, we've bred her once, and honestly the timing wasn't great, so I'm not kind of shocked that she didn't take, but I was given some information from a previous owner who was breeding her that they would suggest doing what's called an oviduct flush, which, can you give me like the rundown on that again, just for a veterinary professional explaining it over me?
It's when you flush their fallopian tubes.
Gotcha.
So you go up to the tip of the uterine horn, and there's a little papilla where the fallopian tubes dump into the horn, and you take a catheter and flush into that papilla, and the fallopian tubes get flushed because sometimes they get clogged up with mucus and debris.
Okay. And is that usually like she's had 2 foals? Is that usually something that happens like after foaling?
It's usually something that doesn't happen.
Okay.
But it's one of the differentials when you have a mare that the semen's good, the uterus is clean, the timing's good, and she's not getting pregnant. One of the top differentials is the egg is not getting down into the uterus because there's a blockage.
I see.
It's like a roadblock.
I see. So that was one thing that was mentioned, and this past time she cultured clean, and again our timing wasn't perfect this time, but we're not wanting to waste time, and if she's going to be a long-standing broodmare here at Running Springs, we want to make sure she's all good to go. And so this person had said, hey, I really recommend doing an oviduct flush on her. That's what we had decided to do next, but I guess timing or whatever, they didn't do it. So she's gonna be having that procedure once she's in flaming heat. So we gotta check her today to see where she's at in her cycle. Oh.
So she's in heat. She doesn't have any big follicles. She's just coming back in. So I would do it on Monday.
Monday? Well.
Didn't plan on leaving her Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay. So drop off Ariel and Blondie Monday.
Monday morning, I'll be in there doing it. So she could come in the morning or Sunday.
Okay.
If Monday morning's not convenient.
Well, Easter's probably not going to be a great time to bring them in. So.
Yeah, bring them in.
Monday morning.
Monday morning.
Okay. So we're going to take her into the clinic to do this, and what'll happen is they'll do the procedure, they'll flush her for a couple of days, and then we'll let her go back out of heat, come back in. So it's probably going to be a whole cycle before we are able to try again for Miss Blondie. But I think by covering our bases like this, especially by having some previous knowledge from people that know her better than I do, I think we're on the right track. So that's Miss Blondie. Next, So I told everybody that with Raven and us just kind of throwing an embryo in without without knowing when she ovulated, I compared it. I said it's the parable of the sower. Do you know the parable of the sower?
No.
Okay, I'll take you to church. So
Take me to church. Need to go to church.
So the parable of the sower, I actually use this in my life a lot because I feel like I just kind of like, I don't know, it'll make sense once I say it. So the parable of the sower, and watch me butcher this. Watch me have concocted this after hearing it at like 13 and I've just changed it. I don't know. But there was a farmer and his crops weren't growing. He wasn't having any rain and he kept holding off from planting because he kept thinking it was going to rain and it never rained. And so he just kept holding off from planting. And he's like, Lord, I can't, my crops, what's going to happen? I can't plant because there's no rain coming. And the Lord told him, well, you're not preparing for rain. You don't have faith in me and you're not sowing your crops because you don't believe that I will provide for you. And so then once the farmer sowed his crops, God prepared rain, or God provided rain. But you have to prepare for the rain in order for your crops to grow. So had I not put that embryo in, even though it's not the greatest timing, there would be no pregnancy. You can't have a pregnancy unless you put the embryo in. So I'm preparing for rain by putting the embryo in, and then the Lord provides what's needed. And then we're gonna have a pregnancy. That's what I got in my head.
Every time I check a Mare and she's not pregnant, I'm gonna be thinking about that. And if I have somebody that's just over the top emotional, they're getting the parable. Well, let me take you to church, is what I'm gonna say. When they're crying.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, the parable of the sower, also the parable of the talents, I go by that a lot as well. So whenever I feel bad about, I'm like, oh, I don't want to be too showy, or I don't know if I should put myself out there. I think about the parable of the talents and I also can't remember exactly how this goes, but I remember the gist of it, where the Lord blessed 3 people with talents. And I think in the parable, talents are referring to like money. Like I think it's referring to like coins and whatnot. And so there was a guy that invested it and then made it into even more talents. There was a guy that used it moderately, but like used it to like, bring good into his life and onto others. And then there was a guy that was so scared of losing his talent that he buried it. And then when the Lord came and talked to the 3 people, he scolded the one who buried it. He said, I didn't give you this talent to bury it in the ground and do nothing with it. And then he praised those that used it to help others' lives and to, flourish with, I guess. And so if you translate that from like money into like actual talent, so like the things that you're naturally blessed with. So like, let's say, I don't know, like you have really good people skills, or you have a singing voice, or you have something that could benefit others. You should use it because God gave it to you. Anyway.
That's why I tell Jess, she's sinning all the time.
She's sinning just constantly.
Yes. She's not singing. She's not singing.
She's good?
She's sinning. Yes, she can sing.
I didn't know that.
She sings like an angel.
I didn't know
And
that.
she won't ever do it.
Sinning. Tell her.
Is this your wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
What does she look
burying her talents.
What does she look like?
She's real pretty. Way too pretty for him.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
You talking about my wife?
Yes. She said she's pretty, and I was like, way too pretty for him.
Sinning. Oh. That's not nice. How would you do me like that?
Okay, so let's see where she's at in her cycle today.
She had nothing on the right.
We gave her Lute.
Yep, 2 CLs on the left.
So last time we checked her, we gave her Lutalize, which should be helping to bring her back into heat a little bit faster.
Nothing on the right.
Nothing on the right. You look like that meme of that lady that's squinting and like on her hands and knees trying to see something. That's what you look like.
Does that mean where she's in heels?
Pull it up. Pull that meme up.
Does she have her arm in the horse's butt?
No, but it's very reminiscent.
She's in athletic stance. I would agree. And she's focused. Who is this?
This is Kimberly. So you've had her at the clinic. We were putting an embryo in, but then she was too dirty, and you flushed her multiple days at the clinic, and now we're just bringing her back in. It was so cute. We put Phoebe out with her baby today, and all these mares that you've checked today were up on the hill, plus Ginger and Charlotte. They all ran down the hill all together in a herd to come see the baby, and they all just stood at the fence lined up watching the baby run around. And I was like, okay, Miss Kimberly, what do we got going on in here?
All right, in heat, 3-7 right ovary.
So if she has a 3-7 today, does she have good edema and whatnot?
Yeah.
Then we culture her, and then for ovulation timing for the frozen embryo, when do you want me to give her hysterelin? Do you want me to wait till Saturday so that she can get checked Monday too?
No, I want you to give it to her tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
And still check her on Sunday.
Okay.
Just to confirm ovulation. And assuming, she looks perfect, assuming that she ovulates Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, and we'll put in.
You don't mind coming out on Sunday?
No, I'll check her on Monday.
Monday?
We'll check her on Monday for ovulation check.
So then her and Charlotte can just get checked on Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going to give her the shot tomorrow, but we're going to check her Monday. But because Sunday's Easter, we're going to just help us out. I'm branching out in my colors. People used to be like, all you have is red and browns. Now I got some palominos, I got some buckskins. Do you prefer her height for palpation versus my big mares? Or is it harder because you're like...
Now these little quarter horse size mares are easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Hey, hit freeze for me, please. I'm stuck. I had premature entrance into her rectum.
Premature entrance into the rectum. That's wild.
So she has C on her left. Is that consistent?
And she did. She ovulated on her left ovary.
Embryo Monday.
Embryo Monday. Easy, big boy. If she isn't, I might be putting one of her embryos in and having 2 of her babies next year instead of 2 Erlene's. So normally if we check at day 14 and we don't see a baby, we pull them off of Regimate and we just assume that they need to come back into heat. At day 12, 13, it's early enough that we would check her again on Monday when he comes out for some other mares. Come on, baby. Okay, come on, baby. Be in there. Come on.
Left ovary. Cervix is good and tight.
We zoomed in.
I'm not seeing
Seeing one. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put one of hers in. With that being said, we already have a confirmed Erlene. Now again, we will check her again on Monday before we pull her off of Regimate, just to be sure, because like I said, this is a little bit early, and stranger things have happened than seeing a baby a couple days later after checking her not in full.
And you're a day behind with frozen too on the maturation process.
So she'd be at 12 essentially?
Yeah. What day did she actually ovulate? She would have ovulated right before I bred her.
Okay, then you bred her Monday.
Monday be 14. Sunday be 13.
What?
Saturday be 12.
So are we too early?
Today will be 11. Or Friday be 11. Today be 10.
Are we just way too early right now?
Went to the clinic on Friday.
She and Kimberly, and he was like, she still hasn't done it. You might have done it Sunday, and then we picked her up Monday. I think you bred her Sunday, honestly. So she'd still only be at day 11 today.
Look at our text stream. We bred Buttercup early this morning.
Which was what date?
Monday, March 23rd.
We're just too early. We're just dipshits.
She got bred on Monday.
So Monday, the 23rd. So 7 days would have been the 30th, which is actually 6, 7, 8. We're at day 9. We're just
Monday.
So we're just dumb. Is palpating her right now actually going to hurt her? Is that going to piss her off and have her not take it now?
No. Well, her tone looks good. She doesn't have any fluid. Everything looks good.
Okay. Ha! Just kidding. Just kidding. Actually, if she's the last one, I could just leave her here to wake up. What made me think that we needed to check her today? I don't know. I'm just off. Okay, that's it for today. Sorry about that. We're going to be meeting the mini vet tomorrow, and it'll be like 2 seconds for y'all. So, and it's the next day. So we are going to check Poppy and see if she's pregnant. Petunia, unfortunately, is not. We did confirm that she lost her pregnancy pretty early on, but with Poppy, she's a big lady, and we think she's still pregnant. And if she is, her due date would be coming up this month. So we're gonna just check, and then if for some reason she's not, we will make our plan for breeding once again. Because the vet is here, we've been running all the mini cows through the chute, all of the ones that are breeding mature. We're just checking to see if everything's good before we go, spending money and time and effort trying to breed them. So she's already checked a couple. 1 or 2 of them are going to get a hoof trim here soon as well. One of them had to get a really bad haircut earlier today. She got into a briar patch, and she just got shaved. So anyway, she's not too pretty. But let's look at Poppy next and see if she's got a little baby in there.
Did you guys ultrasound her, or did you
Just blood test.
She's not.
Oh, dang it. Poppy's open too. Well, we did 1 round of AI. They both confirmed with blood test, and then I saw discharge with Petunia, but probably needed to have a cleanup bowl.
Yeah. You have access to one for these?
Well, we're trying to find one that's
How's that one goes? I've had a few Highlander clients I could reach out to.
so they're chondro positive, so
Okay.
it would have to be a chondro negative.
Negative,
That's
okay.
also not too big to ride. So we would like to AI again because we do have semen on hand, and then
So I would
do a
then stick a cleanup.
stick a cleanup in.
Yeah.
Because I've got 4 that are big enough now that I would breed.
She was saying July. I would do earlier because they're not heat tolerant, and that's going to hurt your conception.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and put ride patches on them and try to set them up for AI now, and then work on. I mean, if you have any,
if you do middle to late May, 1st of June, you're going to be getting March calves, late February, March calves.
I'm
which I
okay
think
with
would be
that.
fine.
I'm okay with that.
I wouldn't
yeah.
want January calves with these things, but that's what I would do. And then if they don't take the firstborn or 2,
Yeah.
you're still getting into
Still get a
June.
little bit.
Yeah.
Is it the worst thing? Not really, because we're all busy, and it's like we can just start anew, and then she's not having to calve by herself. So now we'll just do a little bit earlier in the season, breeding season for these minis with AI. We're going to be looking for not just any bull, but we're looking for a quality bull to clean up for them. But we don't need to buy one because we only need them for like a month, month, maybe 6 weeks. So that's now on the list of to-dos. Now let's head over to the goat pen and see how many little babies Blossom and Bee have in there. Hi, Bella. Hi, my big. That's what she was saying. So one of the big reasons why they say like to keep a doe bred or to keep them like in a rotation of breeding is because when they get out of the rotation, they get so fat so easily. And if you keep them bred, then they're like getting nursed on, and it keeps their weight down. And so she's getting real fat. And so she was one of the ones that I left like out this year, like I didn't breed her. And so with Honey having lost her babies, we're considering bringing the buck back this month to have like a fall little kidding season. So I think it'd be cute.
Right. Turn that. It should
Well, these were down.
down.
That's whatever.
Oh, there's a wasp. Boy, that's a blue job.
I can't remember.
Blue job.
So you're saying right lateral. So
We're setting up our little lab up here on our hay bale table.
yeah, there we go. Go down here. I mean, these babies are
A little over 3
They're going to
months.
be right in here.
Now she should be about 3-ish months along in her pregnancy.
I don't think this technique's. It's too.
Okay, so we're trying to see. I see a couple. I see at least 2.
2.
I see for sure 2 spines.
Oh, there we go.
That's 2 skulls. That's a skull. That's a skull. Is it not? That's a skull.
Definitely.
That's a skull.
What's that doing at the top?
So we're still seeing 2 skulls.
That's
now,
her spine.
sometimes they might get hidden by like the rumen.
So this is her spine.
Okay.
So that's for sure a skull. That's for sure a
fetus. So there's 2 for sure.
Yeah. I feel like in the past, there was always one more than
One
what we
more
saw.
in there?
Yeah.
So the other thing that could be
Are they moving, or is she just breathing hard?
No, it dibbled.
There's a specific window, earlier window for counting for them.
Okay, so
And-
what is that window? And I will try to make it
So
next time.
on these guys, anywhere from about 30 to 45 days.
Okay.
So it's a lot earlier than cattle.
Okay. Well, I'll try to hit that
well,
window with this next
It's
time.
earlier than sexing cattle. Because, sexing with cattle is like 60 to 80, and honestly, I prefer the 60 to 75. Okay, go ahead.
Who'd she call twins on?
Blossom.
Okay.
And then last time when we ultrasounded, she called twins on B.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause Honey had triplets.
Honey had triplets.
So this
I
is
know.
B we're fixing to do?
Yes.
Yes, and
Okay.
she's Honey's twin.
Okay.
And she and Honey were, they had a brother.
So, do they fight a lot? Like headbutt each other?
I mean, they
goats
play
do.
pretty hard.
That could have been why she aborted. She
Bella.
just hit funny.
Bella's pretty rough.
caused
the
a
black one.
placental abruption and see ya.
I bet she got triplets. Myrtle myrtles.
In the door. Since we
It's a little hot.
There's definitely something in there, but we
Let
need
me-
to change our angle on this one.
Blossom,
like
even
doing
these two
kettlebell
in there.
workout.
I thought she looked like she had a bag going.
I think she could be okay. I'm just not seeing. Was that some skeleton right there? We're doing the same technique, so I don't know why.
Is she just full of root?
That's all. That's all like intestines.
Lots of
I am not
rumen.
seeing baby, unless it's. Oh, that's something. It might be hiding right up under that spine.
That's what I was wondering a minute ago, because I saw her spine, but then I thought I
Let's
saw
try a
skull.
full lateral, but just come in the caudal half of the abdomen. So
Yeah,
yes,
there's
there they
their
are.
skeleton.
Yep. So look how pelvic they are.
That's what
I mean, that thing is way in there.
Okay, they're
That's
there.
a single right there, y'all.
There's just a head right up there. So you only see one head?
It's like a little alien. Look, he's jumping.
Do you not see
Yeah. that's
two
a lot.
spines or one?
No, that's a whole
That's a
body.
leg. Those are, look, that's a foot right there. See the foot? I'm only seeing one right
Okay.
there, y'all.
Well, there's one in there though.
Confidently, and we confidently saw 2 in her.
Yeah,
Because that's sternum.
yeah.
So I guess what would be concerning for me is obviously just being too big, being a single. So.
That and I always like to know if there's a second, because then if one comes out and nothing else is happening, it's like, are we good or do we need help?
In
you know?
my experience with goats, they're gonna be either pushing or they're not. Usually, if they get one out, the next one can come.
Well,
So-
so last year, the little chocolate one that you checked with twins, she had 2, and the first one came out alive, and then the second one just expelled out because it was dead. And she had them early, and I think it was because the one died. And so I looked down, I'm like, oh my God, there's another baby. She hadn't even pushed. It was just like a rocket. Real quick, because I know you gotta go. What's your thought process? I kind of want to get it done quick. What's your thought on me giving loot?
Yeah,
a
so-
couple days before he gets here, and just so that they're ready.
You can do that, and you can loot them and then repeat it in 7 days, because you're not guaranteed to bring them in with one loot shot, right?
Okay.
Depending on where they are in their.
So if we gave them loot, and then 7 days later gave loot, and then brought him in that next
You're
day.
pretty much guaranteed they'll be breedable within 48 to 72 hours after that.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
You can.
I
You
want-
absolutely can. Do
I
that.
want him here as little as possible.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Don't like him. 7 days later, loot again,
One cc.
I believe.
Yeah.
So that when we loot them the second time, they're almost guaranteed to cycle within 2 to 3 days. We bring him that day, and we only keep him for a week.
So 20th, we're leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, you could loot him while I'm gone.
What
The first
day?
time.
So
Just
you
do,
leave the 11th. 13th would be Monday.
Like loot on that Monday. Loot on the 13th.
You don't know. If she says the 13th.
Because I get back the 19th. 7 days from that's the 12th, which is a Sunday.
Loot on the 13th.
Shut your hole.
So let's loot on the 13th.
Who are we looting?
Honey and Bella. Okay, so we've got babies coming from B and Miss Blossom. We do not have babies coming from Poppy. And then in the first part of this video, we absolutely just like pranked ourselves by checking Buttercup when we should not have. So that'll be in a future breeding update to see if she's actually pregnant or not. But lots of things to be excited for. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you in the next one.